phone notifications, page-long to-do lists, overloaded inboxes, breaking news, rush hour traffic, demanding customers, broken appliances. Feel the overwhelm yet? Overwhelm is as common as snow in winter. But today, we're discussing how to keep marketing off the overwhelming list with the 5 most important things every small business should focus on.
Welcome to the Higher Purpose Marketing Strategy Podcast. If you're frustrated by marketing and want to stand out from your competition, this is the show for you. Every week, we're discussing how to build a plan that attracts your best customers and aligns with your values. I'm your host, Ashley Conway, follower of Jesus, CEO of Be Weird Marketing, marketing coach, and copywriter. I promise to defeat the ick, yuck, and struggle bus feelings you may have about marketing with a few good stories and proven advice. So let's have fun and get to work.
Okay, so true story. Yesterday, picture this with me, 5:30. It's the end of a long day. I procrastinated cooking dinner as long as possible. So I start making dinner. And that involved I had a skillet here and I was cooking turkey sausage. On the other side, I'm making a sauce in a separate pan. Then I'm baking a hash brown in the air fryer for my husband. My girls, who are 10 and 6, are asking a lot of questions about dinner. What are we having? We had it before. Did I like it? Can I have chicken nuggets? You know the drill. Then my husband comes into the kitchen, brings me 3 of his new man candles. That's what I'm calling them. They have things like bourbon, the names, bourbon, vanilla, man smells. And he asked me if I could trim his candle wicks. No, this is not a euphemism. This is like trimming actual candle wicks, nothing crazy here. So I go get the wick trimmer. Yeah, I have multiple wick trimmers. I take the wick trimmer and I shove it at him and I say, "Here, you can do it. 1/4 inch. Why? Did I not want to help him? Do I hate wick trimming? No, because I'd reached the point that this is what I call it, too muchness. And the overwhelm just finally got to me. Overwhelm is common in marketing, right? There are so many things you could do or should do, and that's just yesterday. You could look today at social media and there are a zillion new miraculous solutions to all of your marketing problems popping up, and you will need to get their freebie or take their webinar or do something, and it will be the only way you can save your marketing. It's too much. So today we're going to cut through all that clutter and talk about the 5 things that every small business owner must do for successful marketing. Let's go. Number 1, define your target audience. This is probably the most important on the list. One of the most common mistakes I see businesses of all sizes making is marketing to everyone or to a large group of people. It is okay to serve anyone, but you can't market to everyone. It will not be successful. You have to decide on a smaller group of people that you want to target and then make it your mission to get to know them. You may get to know them through customer feedback, Google Analytics, social media. You want to drill down on a smaller group so you can get to know things like what keeps them up at night, like what are their real problems? What do they care about? Where do they hang out online? What are their hesitations about working with you? Once you know these people, you do like a deep dive, you know them intimately, you can market to them in a way that feels like a conversation, not a sales pitch. What's going to happen if you try to market to everyone or to a large group of people is that obviously you can't be specific. So you're going to end up looking like all of your other competitors who do this. You're going to say the same general things about your product or service, the same general things about the problems you're solving, and you're going to look like your competitors. You could take their logo and throw it out and put your logo on it and it would look the same. I'm not saying that you cannot attract. You will attract many different types of people. You can work with them, absolutely. But for marketing purposes, serving is different than marketing. Serving, you can serve anyone you want. marketing, you need to talk to a smaller group of people to be successful, especially because it is so noisy online. And that leads me to number 2, get visible online. If your customers, your potential customers can't find you online, they're probably going to go with a competitor. If they can't find you, they can't do business with you. And in this, we're in 2025. A solid website is non-negotiable at this point. It needs to do 3 things at the minimum. When someone goes to your homepage, you have seconds to communicate. Let's say you have 15 seconds, although attention spans are much less than that. But let's be generous and say you have 15 seconds. You need to clearly communicate what you do. What's the product or service that you offer? Who you do it for, so they know whether that's for them or not. And how do they take action? Do you want them to call you? Do you want them to fill out an online form? Do you want them, what's the next step that you want them to take? They need to know that. We call it above the fold. So without having to scroll down, they need to see those 3 pieces of information. What you do, who you do it for, how they can take action. That's just your website. Another piece of getting visible online is being on social media. I can't tell you that I love social media. I don't. What I can tell you is that social media is now another we're open for business sign. Your website is an open for business sign, and your social media is an open for business sign. I'm also not going to tell you, though, to be on every platform. You need to be on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Pinterest, LinkedIn, etc. Not going to tell you that. What I'm going to say is, because we're all about keeping it simple here, pick one. Find out, now that you have a smaller target audience, find out where your audience is spending the most time. This is the one platform then that you are going to spend your most time on, and you're going to create the most content for. It's that one. That's the second place you need to get visible. If you have a local business, you need to have a Google business profile. You need to get as many reviews as you can from satisfied customers on it. You need to use, going through Google is one way that you improve your SEO. You also need to put SEO terms, which would be like your city, state, product you offer, on your site, your social media bios, and your Google profile, just to help people find you. Let's be real. We are Googling everything now. So you need to have these terms through different places in order for people to find you if you're a local business. Number 3, create customer first content, not you first content. This is counterintuitive. You think that when you have a website, that when you have social media, whatever it is, that you need to be out there telling people about your company. You do, but that's secondary. Focus first on what your customers need and how you can help them versus why your company is so great. I'm not saying those messages aren't important, what your company does well, messages about your company. But all of us, if you put yourself into put on your consumer hat, right? You're going through social or websites and you're thinking about, what do I need? Why am I here? What am I looking for? No matter what the thing is, you're worried about your problem that you're trying to solve. So you are looking for somebody to say, you have this problem? I can fix that. We can make it better. That type of thing. You're looking for somebody who really understands what your problem is. Not somebody who's like, this is how many awards that we've won. We've been recognized. We're certified in this way, whatever it is. They, at least at first, they want to hear more about their problems than they do your abilities. So whether it's website copy, blog posts, social media posts, or videos, create content that provides value to them, that answers common questions, or maybe even like common objections. You can answer those, that addresses their top problems. Yeah, your goal is to add value. So this accomplishes several things. It builds trust. They know that you're not out to just kind of shove your company or your services down their throat. It shows that you care about them. And it also, on the other side, positions your business as the expert in this particular industry, because you're out there showing that you have knowledge, you have expertise by adding value. Number 4, know what's working and what's not. Now, I will tell you, as a small business, this is something that the larger corporations do really well. marketing isn't a set it and forget it type of thing. It's ever changing, and you have to be ready to make changes with it. So in order to do that, you have to track what is bringing in leads, what's bringing in sales. So okay, I do more of that and I do less of what's not working, or I fix the thing that's not working. So how are you going to do that, right? So you use things like Google Analytics, email reports, that they help you figure out, pun intended, like what's clicking and what's not. So here's an example. Your email that you send out to potential customers is not getting enough opens. So enough is like the standard rate is 15 to 20% of what's delivered. So if it's getting less than that, if it's getting 10%, you have one of two problems. You either have a subject line problem, that people are not intrigued enough or interested enough to open your email, or you have an audience problem. If you're writing to your target audience, but maybe your email list is filled with people that you have gotten in different seasons of your business or at an event, or, it's not exactly full or heavy enough on your target audience, then of course they're not going to open. So it may be that you have a list problem, but at least by tracking, what to work with, what to tweak, what changes to make. Don't make changes without the information, without good data. Number 5, last one, make sure everything you do has a clear, and this is the big part, and correct goal. This is what I mean. Every piece of marketing, everything you do should have a purpose. Of course it should, right? But it needs to have the right purpose. So social media posts should lead people to your freebie, your lead magnet, whatever that is. Maybe it is a discount if you have a product. Maybe it's a guidebook. Maybe it's a training. Maybe it's an email series. It can be a ton of different things. But on social media, that's what your main goal is. Just get people to engage with you by getting on the freebie. Because when they opt in to your free item, they get on your email list. Your email list is gold. So you're using your email list. That's the goal of the email list, is to get a sale. You don't get it immediately, but you're, again, providing more value, letting people get to know you, providing resources, and you're always linking to some kind of a low-cost product or service. Let's talk about your website. It should get people to sign up for that email list as well. So make sure everything that you do connects to the next piece of your sales path, right? So you're trying to move people down the path toward becoming a customer. You don't do it all at once. And people that barely know you on social media are most likely not going to be ready to make a purchase. You have to move them further in. So your homework is to go back through these 5 needs, and I'll recap them for you. So number 1 is to define your target audience. And I'm going to say specific, you're going to niche down your target audience, right? To get visible online, you need that open for business sign. 3, create customer first content, not you first content. 4, know what's working and what's not with tracking. 5, make sure everything you do has a clear, correct goal. So yeah, the homework is to look at those 5 must-dos. Figure out what needs the most support. It's not necessarily the area that you may not be doing it, if you're not tracking kind of thing. I would say the very first thing to nail down is that target audience piece and go from there. So take whatever needs the most support of those 5 and get to work. So let's dig into this a little bit more with today's listener question. I think this will be really helpful. How can I make sure all my marketing efforts, like social media, my website, and email campaigns, are actually working together to guide potential customers toward making a purchase? And this one is from Ellen. Okay, so Ellen, the first thing you need to do is to define the goal for each of these pieces. How I'm going to help you do that right now is to use a dating analogy. I like this one a lot. Okay, let's start with social media. Social media is like going to a party, right? So there's tons of people there. They're kind of working the room. They're deciding who they want to get to know better, who to talk with. So your goal for the social media party is to get people to sign up for your free item. This is the equivalent of getting their number. You have to make it low risk, easy to do, because there are so many people at this social media party, they could easily flip over to someone else. You just want to make it, this is like a low barrier to entry, right? You want to make it so easy, absolutely no cost. You're just trying to get that first step in your dating relationship, right? Then your email is like once you get the number, you start texting back and forth. You're getting to know each other. You're working your way up to a date possibly. And a date is a purchase, right? So the purchase is going to be typically very low cost because they're still, when you're just texting someone back and forth, you're still not sure, are you in, are you out, is this going somewhere? So you're just asking for a low commitment, right? Then the website was the other thing you mentioned. So a website now is more like, let's say you're internet stalking somebody. Maybe you're about to go on a date, but you look at them up on the internet because you want to make sure they're legit. They have normal photos of themselves. They have friends that look normal, that type of thing. So a website is very similar in that people are going to your website just to make sure you're credible, to check out that you're legit. They want to see some photos of your work or some testimonials. That's kind of the place of the friends in this analogy. Your homepage is just there for credibility. Your about page is just there for credibility. It's your landing pages and your sales pages that do all of the work. So make sure that you know what the goal is for each of these things. Then start tracking whether these pieces, your social media, your website, your email campaigns, are accomplishing those goals. Then you work on making improvements and testing those. And I will, this is like a freebie tip, only make one improvement at a time. So if you notice that your emails you're sending out are not leading to any sales, you can tweak. You let the data tell you what to tweak. If they're not getting opened, you might adjust your subject lines. If they're not getting clicked on, then you may, once people are in your email, you may adjust the content, or you may adjust the placement of the offer, or you may adjust what else you put in there with your offer. But you do one thing at a time so that you're able to identify what worked. So that's my advice for you, Ellen. I know, and I'm happy to. I know this can be really complicated. If you need help with this, if you need help talking through this customer journey from they don't know you at all to they're like a committed customer of yours, or you need help talking through the performance of what you're already doing and where things could be improved or tested, what I'm going to recommend is you get a Power Hour coaching session with me. It's just a 1 hour, one-time session, and we can go through these things. So if that's something you're interested in, go to bit.ly/powerhourcoaching to find out more and to just get some time to talk through these things with somebody who's been in the business for 20 plus years. And that's all for today's show. Thanks so much for listening.
Thanks for listening to today's show. For all things podcast, including transcripts, extra resources, and a place to submit questions for the show, visit higherpurposemarketingstrategy.com. I'd also love for you to do me 2 quick favors. 1, leave a review on Apple Podcasts, and 2, share this episode with your colleagues. And that's a wrap. Meet you back here next week.